Hello, Johnny Rotten here. I found this one. I thought this was fun. So, for a friend, this video says produced by the Space Division of North American Rockwell. This industrial film stresses the importance of space exploration and the future of mankind, stating that just 2 cents of every tax dollar funded the entire space program. The film highlights the return of that investment from the historic lunar landing to the possibilities of the space shuttle program. Naturally, this phrasing is somewhat misleading. It is not that the taxpayer only contributes 2 cents, but that 2 cents of his or her entire tax payment goes towards the funding of the space program. It's from 1971. So we will watch this. How interesting. Let's see what they say.
The facts that you are about to hear are true. The American public spent more money each year on lipstick, on pet food, on cigarettes, and almost everything than they did on space, including our flights to the moon. Space funding didn't increase taxes.
For 2 cents, I'd go to the moon.
The congressman on the Hill simply allocated a certain portion of budgeted
For
funds.
2 cents, I'd go to the moon.
What was that you said?
I said for 2 cents, I'd go to the moon.
What in the world is that?
That's exactly what I've been trying to say. For 2 cents, 2 cents out of every tax dollar, we went to the moon. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Of course.
For only 2 cents.
Right. 2 cents out of every tax dollar has funded our entire space program. And from what we gained in just those first few years, I'd say we got our 2 cents worth. It all started in 1961. Space became a part of our present and our future. We had a national goal of peaceful exploration. The kids had new heroes. Heroes that were combinations of test pilots, scientists, and explorers. And we were beginning to build the broad foundation of knowledge, hardware, and experience that would let us develop this new frontier of space for the benefit of all mankind. After 1965, man would never again wonder if the continents and oceans looked the same as they do on a map. The world now had maps of proven accuracy. And other benefits of the burgeoning scientific technology were making the world a better place to live in. And those same 2 cents out of every tax dollar, the smallest expenditure of all, were finding their way throughout the nation and into the paychecks and the pockets of American families in all walks of life. The 2 cents have provided a challenge to stimulate technological growth and a capability in space that has gained the respect and admiration of the entire world. In 1967, we rolled out the first giant Saturn V moon rocket. On the first test flight, it hurled an unmanned Apollo spacecraft 10,000 miles from Earth to try the spacecraft's performance in space and during re-entry. In 1968, 3 men made the first manned flight of Apollo, a craft that would travel through space to another celestial body. By Christmas of 1968, 3 men were a 250,000 miles from Earth, circling around the moon for the first time, and also catching man's first breathtaking glimpse of his Earth from that distance. Astronaut Jim Lovell described the Earth as a beautiful blue oasis in the vastness of space. Suddenly, all men were brought to realize that our Earth was truly a lovely, lonely haven in a black, cold, unfriendly void. Our first steps into space had brought us a fuller appreciation of our own Earth and of the need to preserve its treasures. We were beginning to get much more than our 2 cents worth. Our first major space goal of landing men on the moon was reached in 1969, well within the time limit proposed. For the first time in the history of man, it seemed as though all the people on Earth watched together and felt a unique oneness as man made a footprint in the soil of another planet. And now the scientists of Earth could begin uncovering new areas of knowledge about the structure and the origin of our Earth, and about the beginnings of this solar system, of which we are a tiny part. The first decade in space was the beginning. It established a foundation of capability in space, upon which we can build new beginnings. Space flight gives us a unique overview of Earth, the ability to predict weather, earthquakes, and to determine the location of mineral and oil deposits. From space, we can monitor the location and the extent of different types of pollution, and this overview will help control or eliminate many sources and causes. The advanced Apollo lunar missions, Apollo 15, 16, and 17, carry scientific instruments for exploring the lunar surface and subsurface from orbit. These experiments will serve as stepping stones in the exploration of techniques for management of our Earth from orbital workshops. Skylab, the The first generation orbital workshop and space station is now being built to provide these space advantages to mankind, as well as to perform astronomical observations and test unique manufacturing processes in the space environment. The workhorse of the future is America's space shuttle vehicle, reusable spacecraft, which will travel back and forth from Earth orbit carrying unmanned satellites, experimental laboratories, and performing other valuable space tasks with the routine ease of supply ships that ply the oceans of Earth. Other new beginnings in space will be determined largely by the growing needs of Earth, as population growth, hunger, pollution, and other human problems continue to demand new solutions, new approaches. Our 2 cents worth for space has given a new dimension of capability to our lives for the future. A potential with promise as vast as the universe, to which we have only just opened the door.